Okay, signal strength test. It's only like 110 meters and you can see it's breaking up in some places. I was testing out the Mini a bit again, basically just to see how well it will perform, like in a higher height, over 400 feet for example. I went up about 230 meters, then it started to seem like the image broke up a little bit, so I basically started to land it. It seemed like it was fine overall. I could actually see the drone perfectly fine too. It just makes me wonder, how far can you see a drone like up in the air? For myself, from my own experience so far, just generally when you talk to people with a more traditional aviation background, you talk about like over 400 feet or whatever, people would be terrified, like, oh no, you're gonna hit something. Where in reality, if you know the area very well, you know where the air traffic patterns and stuff are, you're in like say the line of sight, there's really very little risk. There's more odds you'll get hit by lightning twice, not once but twice, for that thing to be endangered for a manned aircraft in those situations, in my opinion. I read a lot of different things today. I guess this one first relates to Boxing Day that happened recently. As I said, I didn't buy anything because I didn't need anything. At the same time, the deals didn't seem very good. I guess for a lot of people, they weren't so good that they felt that they need to do something to make it exciting or something. This one says, Boxing Day pepper spray marks mass chaos in Coquitlam Mall. Food court at Coquitlam Center Mall was thrown into panic when someone released pepper spray near a KFC. The incident happened around 4:30 p.m. when Martin Robson was having a bite to eat and his wife and 3 kids at the end of the day of shopping. Suddenly, about 50 meters away, he saw what looked like a fog billowing up from the seating near the KFC. People started running and yelling, "Get out of here," basically the person said. It says there's estimated that there were about 100 people made it to the door before him as the standing room only food court spilled out on the street. When he looked back, Robson saw seniors, mothers pushing their children in strollers, even his wife next to him. Couldn't breathe. His 9-year-old daughter had the chemical in her eyes and was crying. And he says here, quote, "It's the kind of thing you only see on the news in the States, people running out because of some fear of a disaster. It was mass panic. Old people coming out, gagging, spitting," said Robson. "It was just mass chaos." It does say here too, using pepper spray, I guess in that fashion, could be considered assault with a deadly weapon. I always thought pepper spray would just be like some, for example, air freshener that you dump out in the air. Like you won't see like a big mist or anything like that, as if like a firecracker blew up. With New Year's coming up, there's actually supposed to be fireworks events, as you may expect, but here they actually canceled it, so it's kind of interesting. They're trying to prepare to relocate it to a different place, closer to the science world and stuff like that, to my knowledge. It makes you wonder though, whether or not things like drone light shows will actually take over fireworks. I know in various places they have more of them. I read this year, it says fitting a 500 drone display into New Year countdown musical. This one's apparently in Singapore. It says for the first time, revelers ushering in the new year will be able to see 500 drones fly in tandem over the float at Marina Bay on Tuesday, December 31st. The drone performance is part of the second annual Star Island Singapore Countdown Edition, which will also feature fireworks, music, and live performances. So I guess there, it's a combination of everything. It's not replacing anything at all. You can basically see the pictures and stuff like that. Yeah, looks like they're gonna have a lot of drones in the air. I still want to see something really large like that. Here, we only had like that tiny one. It was maybe like what, 100 or less drones, maybe just 50 before. I guess with all that news in the US about the FAA wanting to introduce a standard of sort for drone identification and all that, it seems like it's generating a lot of topics and conversations, which I guess is a good thing, because the more people talking about it, the more information there will be out there to see whether or not it's ridiculous or it makes sense. I guess with that in mind, it's kind of interesting to see more articles pop up just about, I guess, drone manufacturers in general. Like this one here says, US responds to threat from Chinese drones, we're rebuilding American drone industry. Secretary of Interior David Bernhardt has grounded most of his agency's fleet of more than 800 drones for national security reasons. The drones contain Chinese parts. He has also ordered that no new Chinese drones or drones with Chinese components be procured. Is this just like a political article or something? It says, this is what strong leadership in the Trump administration looks like. Interior's actions represent just the latest in a string of US agencies acknowledging the risk of doing business with Chinese surveillance state. Most Chinese-made drones flying in American airspace are manufactured by Dajiang Innovations. DJI drones can tag imagery with GPS coordinates, including for critical American infrastructure such as roads and bridges, communication networks, research labs, and military bases, power plants, and wastewater treatment facilities. DJI drones and their control software also uses persistent cookies and can capture all manner of personal information, from user identification and facial recognition data to email addresses, phone numbers, payment information, and computer credentials. According to DJI's own terms and conditions, the company has permission to collect and use your data, and users are warned that data may be transferred to servers located in China. Two legal policy developments in China vividly highlight the risks of handling Chinese companies like DJI reams of sensitive data. And as it goes on, there's actually a lot of statements I don't personally know if it's true, but it's kind of interesting, I guess. It says, first, China's 2017 National Intelligence Law requires civilian companies to cooperate with state intelligence operations. Second, the 2017 National Congress addressed to President Xi Jinping has institutionalized the concept of civil-military fusion, whereby companies like DJI must now, quote, support, assist, and cooperate with state intelligence work. I'm not actually sure where all these quotes and stuff came from, like the source. Like it says, even stuff here says, DJI hired a California-based consulting firm to issue a report that downplayed the very real risk to America. However, DJI's own Vice President of Policy and Legal Affairs, Brendan Shulman, conceded that DJI would share American information with the Chinese government if DJI were asked to do so as required by Chinese law. Again, is that true? Where did they get that quote from? That's kind of an interesting quote if true anyways, or is this just one of those like propaganda pieces in general? But it kind of relates to, I guess, yesterday with the point I was thinking about is whether or not people would support, I guess, manufacturers or whatever that have and encourage restrictions, like in the way you could fly the drone in general. Because I know if that thing does pass in the US, man, someone's gonna benefit from it, like a manufacturer. I know I was reading some of your guys' comments where you said when you looked more into it, like in the US because you're there, apparently there's something like you'd actually have to have internet access open on your drone, like while you're flying. Like that's a little weird and too much in my opinion. If someone's just flying it for fun, I actually turn the internet off when I fly the drone just to reduce anything like additional resources or connection issues or whatever. I turn all that stuff off usually. I know now the conversation is more about, say, the drone operator versus the traditional aircraft people, like just in terms of what's safe and all that. Whereas with stories like this and all those potential regulations that are coming out in the US, I can imagine it's going to turn into something like manufacturers trying to kill each other, saying why each other are horrible and all that. Who would you choose as a consumer afterwards, or would you even have a choice? Whoa. Hey, buddy. That's our buddy we haven't seen in a while. Alright, see you guys later.